Welcome back to KGW News at 12:30. Let's start off with a look at some other local headlines this afternoon. A judge has sentenced a Portland man to life in prison for a deadly shooting near the Burnside Bridge in 2022. Investigators say Rizzo Lucas walked up to Fars G'day on Southwest Nato Parkway, pulled out a pistol, and shot him in the neck. G'day ran toward the Burnside Bridge where he bled to death. Investigators have found no clear motive. Thousands of Oregonians on food assistance now face work requirements after federal waivers ended December 1st. The change affects about 37,000 adults ages 18 to 52 without dependents who must now work, volunteer, or attend employment training 80 hours a month to keep SNAP benefits. 6 counties have enforced these rules since October, but they now apply statewide. Oregon's Department of Human Services says it's notified everyone impacted. People can contact the agency if they're unsure whether they qualify for an exemption. And Northwest Natural has just laid off about 2% of its positions. That's according to the Portland Business Journal. In a statement, the company said it made cuts to, quote, address concerns about customer affordability and reduce costs going forward. At the end of October, nearly 700,000 Northwest Natural customers saw their gas bills rise by an average of 5.4%, bringing the average monthly bill to nearly $86. Well, new at 12:30, major political action is underway at the Oregon State Capitol today concerning the state's recent transportation bill. Petitioners behind the effort to give taxpayers a vote on tax increases as a result of that bill are expected to deliver nearly 200,000 signatures to the Secretary of State's office this afternoon. That's more than double the 78,000 required to qualify for the ballot. The bill, passed by Democrats in a special session, is designed to pay for Oregon's road and maintenance problems. It also prevents layoffs of hundreds of state workers. Blair Bess will have more on the story in our later shows. After more than 30 years in business, Metro Paint is closing its doors for good at the end of the year. The facility is operated by Metro to recycle and repurpose paint from around our area. Earlier this week, myself and photographer Eric Patterson looked into the reasons behind the closure. For the past 30 years, this warehouse has been a staple of North Portland by doing something innovative.
When Metro first began recycling paint in the early 90s, there really wasn't a program like Metro Paint.
Gia Balish, a spokesperson for Metro, says nobody in the area recycled paint when the program started. Instead, it was shucked into landfills. So Metro stepped in and created Metro Paint, which has recycled millions of gallons of paint.
So these mixers are high-speed motors that are going to blend up all those shades of red or white or blue into one consistent color.
Michael Feliz has worked here for 8 years. Unused paint from around the state funnels into this building, where workers recycle it into a new product.
It's a pretty intensive process.
Intensive, but good for the environment.
Not only does that help conserve natural resources and water, but it really has helped cut down on carbon pollution that comes from making new paint.
Balish says the program spurred a state law in 2009, mandating all paint be recycled.
Metro Paint is a success story. This program has been around for more than 30 years. It's kept millions of gallons of paint from ending up in the landfill.
Though at the end of the year, Metro Paint will close for good. Balish says more private companies are in the business, meaning Metro no longer needs to lend a hand.
It's just amazing to see the scale of paint that has come in here.
But before the paint store closes,
you can see shelves are starting to empty out.
They're offering low prices to customers in need of a final batch of Metro Paint.
We're already seeing availability start to dwindle for some colors, so if you have a particular shade in mind, definitely come out sooner rather than later.
And when we stopped by earlier this week, paint was selling for $9 a bucket. Those prices will drop as Metro Paint gets closer to shutting its stores for good. Anyone looking to learn where to recycle paint now is advised to visit paintcare.org for drop-off locations. We're also continuing to track the impact of this week's atmospheric rivers and heavy rain. In northwest Washington, as many as 100,000 people may need to evacuate due to widespread flooding. The worst of it is in Skagit County, north of Seattle, where the Skagit River could see its highest levels in modern history. Closer to our area in Lewis County, more than a dozen people spent Wednesday night at a Red Cross shelter set up at St. John's Lutheran Church. One evacuee told us what she saw before heading to the shelter.
I turned around the corner. It was just looked like a lake, basically, and everybody was just kind of carrying all their stuff out, and some people were getting mad and crying, and there's a lot of animals that were like in distress and everything.
Fortunately, that evacuee returned home yesterday. During a press conference, Washington Governor Bob Ferguson said he's working closely with FEMA to try and improve a disaster declaration for the state. And take a look at this. The U.S. Coast Guard released a video showing a helicopter rescue in Washington. The helicopter crew had to use a basket to rescue 2 people trapped inside a flooded home in the city of Sumas. That's about 50 miles southeast of Vancouver, BC. They were transferred to a nearby landing zone where they received medical care. Chris, we've been seeing it all week long. A lot of just scary stuff up there. Fortunately, we've been able to miss a lot of the brunt of that.
Yeah, we have. Certainly, it's been wet enough, though, here in the Portland, Vancouver metro area and down in the Willamette Valley. There is rain back in the forecast this weekend, by the way, starting on Sunday, and then more significant rain Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. Next week looks wet. Not as wet as what we just had, but we'll get into that. For now, this is a live look of our state capitol, and the fog has lifted, but we are socked in portions of Marion County right now with a low cloud deck, and in fact, it's still quite foggy in Sherwood, right? This is out in from the Chehalem tasting room camera where the fog has yet to lift. Meanwhile, over downtown, it's turning into a very pretty Friday afternoon. And you really savor afternoons like this in December because there's not a lot of daylight to begin with, right? Sunset is in about 4 hours or so. But in any event, there's the live look from our Vancouver waterfront camera from the Springs at the waterfront. It's 57 degrees right now at Pearson Airfield. We are, what are we downtown? We are 56, 57 also in downtown, and 57 at the airport. So we'll probably climb 1 more degree before things are said and done today. East side of the state, not terribly cold either. Right now, Pendleton sits at 61 and Burns at 47. All right, the plan for today shows the low cloudiness and fog continue to hang tough here in the mid-Willamette Valley. We may be in store for a similar situation tomorrow with low clouds and fog socked in the valley. The north end of the valley clears out. The central and southern Willamette Valley may not. So just be aware of that as we go into our weekend. Today we keep the partly sunny conditions here in Portland. Sunset, actually, that should be a moon, right? The sun sets at 4:27. In any event, dry today, dry tomorrow, and then we'll look at that rain coming in for the weekend. And also, this is a big deal, Thomas, the return to significant snow in the Cascades in our 7-day forecast. We'll take a look at that in just a few minutes.
I know a lot of skiers have been waiting a long time, Chris. Thank you. Well, now to an update from our nation's capital. The Senate voted down a proposal to extend tax credits under the Affordable Care Act, which could lead to higher health care costs for many Americans at the start of next year. Senators voted on 2 partisan bills, the Democratic bill to extend the subsidies and a Republican alternative that would have created new health savings accounts. Both failed. House Speaker Mike Johnson says he'll bring up his own bill next week. And still ahead, a gaming grandma is going viral. How a hobby with her grandson turned into an effort to help him battle back against a challenging disease. Plus, a robot is all the buzz in one San Francisco neighborhood, why its makers say it might just be the future to doing chores.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On weather impact alert days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
Well, new at noon, an Arizona grandmother known as Grandma Crackers on YouTube has gained more than 100,000 subscribers in just 1 month. And with a name like that, how could you not? It all began over the summer when 81-year-old Sue Jackwit's grandchildren showed her how to play Minecraft, and it's just grown from there. Now her online fame is helping support her grandson as he recovers from a difficult disease. Maria Stomps has our story.
This is just a wonderful little world in here.
On most days, you'll find 81-year-old Sue Jackwit sitting right here at her desk.
They have a chest in here.
Headset on, notes in front of her, playing a game she never expected to love.
At first, it was kind of scary. You're stepping into a little world that's different from your own.
But online, she's known as Grandma Crackers.
Grandma Crackers because I like graham crackers.
A Minecraft-playing grandma who's suddenly gone very viral.
How are you all doing today?
Her first video, racking up about 500,000 views.
Did you ever think you would reach so many people?
No, never. People responded so positively. That's when I realized maybe I could get enough money to help my daughter and her family pay for some of this treatment that Jack's been through.
Jack is her grandson. He was diagnosed with the rare, aggressive soft tissue cancer last summer.
It was a lot of just hard, pretty crazy chemo, to be honest. Like, looking at it, I don't even notice it till like I get shown pictures of like me or like my condition. And I went through months and months of those.
Just watching him grow up, he's just a very special young man. And it was devastating.
After months of treatment, Jack is now in remission.
It's kind of been a steady uphill.
But his grandma knows those medical bills pile up.
It's like, really like a mortgage on a small house by the time you finish the chemo.
So she's told viewers her channel is now about more than just fun.
All of the money will go to his medical expenses that have accrued.
And with every new video, the world gets a little more of Grandma Crackers.
Look, we have the sunshine.
And Jack gets a little more support.
I'm thrilled that I can be able to provide any kind of help for him that I can.
Grandma Cracker's family says she hasn't received any money yet, but says she is on track to earn about $2,000 so far from her YouTube channel. And Chris, you got to imagine, 500,000 views off the top. You just got to think it's going to go up from there.
My son would love to hang out with Grandma Crackers. We have to limit his Minecraft time. He's a Minecraft maniac. All right, I want to show you something that is really disappointing and then offer you some hope. This is the live look right now from Timberline Lodge. There's no snow there, like none. A week from today, this could be an entirely different story, and I'll show you that with my 7-day forecast in just a few minutes.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. weather impact alert days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We're joined by Chris McGinnis now. And Chris, you walked in here with just a bunch of stats in your hand.
Yeah, you wind up being a stat nerd when you're a meteorologist. So you chose stats number one.
Let's have it.
Mountain snowfall potential. Mount Hood Meadows. I showed you the Timberline cameras just a few minutes ago. There's nothing at Timberline up to about 7,000 feet. Okay, that is terrible, right?
Right.
Christmas is right around the corner. It is make or break for the ski resorts. I just showed Thomas, I highlighted right here on the screen, the middle range of the guidance for snowfall at Mount Hood Meadows next week, starting about Thursday, is on the order of close to 3 feet of snow on the ground by the following Sunday morning. Now, that's still 7 to 10 days out.
Sure.
But we haven't seen anything like that so far this winter.
So a little bit, something of
hope.
reprieve.
Yeah, and it's not just, I don't think we're just whistling in the dark here. I mean, I think there's the signs of a pattern shift that will bring snow, meaningful snow to the Cascades. It's just obviously really delayed. Okay, the other stats that I was kind of geeking out on, because, I'm a weather geek, we've already talked about this, 7.5 degrees above average for the month of December thus far at PDX. So that's through yesterday. Today, we're probably going to at least cement this as how warm it's been. I just looked up. So we had we had 2 days this week where PDX hit 62 degrees. The period of record at Portland International Airport goes back basically 85 years. And only on 4 other instances has PDX hit 62 or better twice in any December. So yeah, we're in some rare air for sure. And it's not unusual to see wild swings from crazy warm to cool and wet. And it looks like we may be setting up for that later next week. All right, that said, it is still crazy warm out there. 57 right now at the airport. The normal high this time of the year is 47. It's 51 in Salem. Eugene, the central and southern Willamette Valley is still a little socked in with some, if not fog, at least low cloudiness. I showed you the Chehalem tasting room camera there. So they're still socked in. But here in Portland and Vancouver, we will see some sun. So Mid-Valley, it's a hit or miss as to whether or not we'll break out of the clouds. But Portland, Vancouver, partly cloudy this afternoon and this evening, with temperatures maybe inching up another degree, which, again, still way above average for this time of the year. Let's talk about the weekend. A repeat performance tomorrow. Morning low clouds and fog, then becoming mostly sunny, high again of 58. So another mild day tomorrow. Periods of very light rain in the forecast. I mean, maybe a few hundredths to a tenth of an inch of rain on Sunday. That's not a big deal. I did mention, though, more significant rain coming our way next week. We'll look at that in a second. Here's Futurecast again with a widespread fog tomorrow morning. That burns off, and we see some sun, let's say from about Wilsonville and points north. That's Saturday. Here comes Sunday morning system. Again, one round of some light rain coming through. Do we get any more in the afternoon? Not so much. So Sunday doesn't look overly wet. Next week, though, does look wet. And we do tap some tropical moisture, or at least subtropical moisture, as we go into Monday and Tuesday. And so I want to show you that because that's definitely the wettest part of our 7-day forecast here. Futurecast has us getting a decent soak on Monday, and then another one coming in later Tuesday and Wednesday into Thursday. So when we put all of that together, cumulatively, that's a fair amount of rain. But again, we're not talking about all of this coming in 12 hours. It'll come over the course of 2 or 3 days. So more rain, and it's, we get rain in December. December is Portland's rainiest month on average, but it's not all going to come in one shot. Anyway, the point is, enjoy the dry time and enjoy this afternoon. This afternoon and tomorrow, actually, as long as the fog burns off, look really, really nice. Thomas, back to you.
When he brings out the stats, he means business. Thank you, Chris. Well, still ahead, a new piece of technology is becoming a game changer for one household chore.
We want to make sure that people don't have to spend time doing things that they don't want to do.
Yeah, I like that idea. Well, here's where you'll find this robot retrofitted to do your laundry. Coming up next.
KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On weather impact alert days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On weather impact alert days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Well, it's a moment we've all been waiting for. Technology is making household chores a little bit easier, and it's all the rage in one California laundromat where a robot is helping fold and sort clothes. Itai Hod has the tech update.
Future is unfolding. On a typical day, Philip Charette, a laundry worker, handles hundreds of pounds of clothes, enough to make anyone's head spin.
The longest and most tedious part is folding the actual articles of clothing.
But today, he can take a load off with a helping hand, straight out of a sci-fi movie. Meet Isaac, a robot equipped with cameras and sensors that can sort, fold, and stack piles of clothes with surprising precision.
It still blows my mind to think, hey, every day I get up and I go to work with a robot.
Philip works for Tumble, a San Francisco-based laundry service that gets your clothes done in 4 hours. Now, with a little help from Isaac. He's a tad slow, about 2 minutes per item, but Philip says he's still learning.
You get a lot of people watching you?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of people. He really is a celebrity in his own right.
And Isaac is just the beginning. Neo, a humanoid by Palo Alto startup 1X, is set to hit the market in 2026. Automated helpers are taking the grunt work out of chores, with a global household robot market expected to soar from $12 billion in 2024 to $71 billion by 2034.
It's picking up the toys.
Condorusas, the co-founder of Weave Robotics, the company behind Isaac, says these domestic robots are giving people something money can't buy: freedom.
We want to make sure that people don't have to spend time doing things that they don't want to do.
The price tag, tens of thousands of dollars, depending on the robot.
The big question, can he do fitted sheets?
Fitted sheets, oh, with the elastic band. God, I can't do those even.
And while Isaac has a few wrinkles to iron out, one thing's for sure: they'll never fold under pressure.
On weather impact alert days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
We are joined with Chris McGinnis now for one last look at that weather.
Much needed break in the rain today, tomorrow, light rain Sunday, and then wet next week.
All right. We'll see you at 5:30.